I'm very, very good.
Hi.
Uh,
Hell yeah.
Endeavor 3, huh?
Oh, dude. So I made this deck at 3 a.m. after
Sure.
our after our LQ. I had like one of those fever dreams before I went to bed where I was like, oh man, the order symbol's so cool right now. And then I was like, who do I play? And I was going through all these hoops and I was just like, just fucking Endeavor. Like it's
Yeah.
just Endeavor.
Well,
uh, and it's really fun. It's Endeavor, so it's a little brain dead, but it is a good time. And I brought it to locals yesterday, and I had a ton of fun with it. It's really cool. I feel like you get to play a lot of the really cool cards on order right now. I love walking that dog, man. It's always a good time. Um,
bark, bark, bark.
bark, 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 man. He needs to go on his walks. Um, Hell Spider is just always fun. For me, not for anyone else.
Sure.
And I actually found yesterday at locals that card, if you find it, and you're playing against Jin, and you're able to endeavor for, and he gives it -2 speed. You're able to endeavor first. He can't cancel the mill too, and then all of your attacks get +3 speed, so he can't cancel any other attacks,
Yeah.
which was really useful. I was able to turn 2 Jin, which was crazy. And then I couldn't find it in the next game, but it was still really cool, and very fun. And then other just order good stuff, Mob Strike and Vile Seizing. Standout card for me that I was really impressed by was Shards of Winter. That card is nuts in Endeavor.
Sure.
Uh, I mean, I guess it's nuts in anyone that can give speed, but being able to play it like middle of a string after they've blocked an attack or two, or play it after they've had an attack turn and be able to give it like 4 or 5 speed by itself and then give it 2 additional speed is just really solid. And then it can draw a card if they don't block it. So it can force a block too, which is pretty good. I was really pleased with it. I feel like it had better results than I was expecting. And then Ice Sword Execution. Um, I I liked it. I wasn't sold on it. I think it's great. I think it's one of the better sleeper URs in the set. And I think in a deck that kind of wants to control your rival's board, it's great. It's accidentally 10 damage. It's really good. I think there were just times where I wanted to see other cards, but I also think it might just be a situation of like, I need to play it more, I need to find it more, and see. But yeah, basically, I really like this deck. I'm kind of a believer in it, and I wanted to bring it to you because it's kind of just a first draft, and I think it's cool, but I think it can be better.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that there are pieces that I didn't find, or pieces that I might be missing to maybe make it a little more defensive, maybe have some more answers to more control decks. Um, and yeah, just help make some foundation decisions as well, because there are some foundations that I have that I'm like, oh, this card's cool, but I kind of want to play this card instead. So I just want to get your opinion on some stuff and all that.
Fair enough. I'm just looking through. Oh, here the order attacks real quick.
For sure, man.
Man, I'm such a fan of Twin Sword Slicer.
Yeah, and it is another, or it is a Echo as well, which is pretty hype. Just gotta find a way to get to 5. But I guess like if you find Hell Spider, it's there. But that's kind of
We don't really care about the bottom enhance. We care that it's a momentum out that represents 8 damage. Those are
Sure.
difficult to find on the order symbol. And it's 2 attacks, right? And after you cycle, it's 14 damage that you like play on a 5 twice, or even play on a 4 twice, right?
Yeah.
And if they like want to interact with it, my only issue is that it's 1.2 slow. If it was a 3 low for 4, I think I'd be so omega in, but it's just not.
I do like the idea though. That is very cool.
Puncher ranged. Interesting. I mean, attack-wise, I'm not seeing a ton that could like replace the Ice Sword execution just like on rip, right?
No.
Of like just like doing its job. I mean, maybe like a plus ultra prominence burn for more commit, depending on like what you've seen. If you cycle the game, like it's a 10 damage move, but this says that you didn't have to cycle to get the 10 damage. It's also this is a different zone. It's a little faster. Although plus ultra is a low attack, whereas walk the dog is a low attack, and so there's that. Plus ultra prominence burn says that walk the dog is way easier to make happen, but normally them attempting to block the first one says that walk the dog works.
Sure, yeah. It's a neat idea though. I'm down to throw it in the sideboard, maybe like, or I'm down to like swap in and out at like a locals with that sometime and see.
There's also the idea of that it's just supposed to be double around the world, and understand that it's a momentum and the 2 checks, so that whenever you go into the Searing, there's a clean thing to pick up. It's a stun 1 6 mid for 6/5 diff, which is very similar to what Walk the Dog's got going on. But this is a mid block, which we're not hurting on. Like if I cut the 2 Ice Swords, then like it's not going to be that bad. But I'm not 100% positive if I'm in love with it. I think that this Around the World is probably a better card in Endeavor than Ice Sword Execution on turn 3. But I think Ice Sword Execution hitting so hard is pretty good.
Yeah. I think I agree with that.
And like you're tossing so many cards in the discard pile with Walk the Dog. Like 4 Walk the Dog that like you just get like Around the World is like almost always live. You just go find them.
Sure, yeah. I had a friend who actually brought up Around the World as well, and he said it was neat because if you remove Around the World, it's an extra copy of Around the World and it's a copy of Walk the Dog.
As long as you've got that momentum.
Yeah, as long as you got the momentum, which I did think was kind of neat. So I'm down to try it. It's definitely one that was like I was staring at and I was like, this could work. I think in the moment I liked Ice Sword a little better, but that's another one I'm down to try.
This card's also like just better on turn 2 as like the only thing that you attack with, right? Whereas this card, they can sell out if they sniff out that you like are done, and it's a 7 high for 5, and this is a 6 for 6 that I don't actually care if it gets blocked or not. I will get my momentum, and then that is 3 damage on Walk the Dog later.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
I dig it.
Yeah, I think
try it.
I'm down to make this change. Just got to make sure that you play on correct curves, just because it's a 2 check, you know?
Yeah. Because the other thing I was going to bring up that Around the World does affect, and I think this is also why I didn't play it in the first draft, is I think the 3 best foundations in my deck were all 3 diffs.
Icy Blade, League and Invitation,
and then new number 1 was in the sideboard, and it was a lot of swapping in and out with new number 1, seeing which one I liked more.
Sure.
And those 3, I'm having a constant debate of like which ones I like more.
Yeah.
League Invitation was huge. Being able to commit foundations on your rival's turn it just felt so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like it would be my rival's turn, like turn 2 or turn 3. One of the funniest thing, it was funny for me. It wasn't funny for them. I would flip League Invitation. They would either commit 2 or I would commit their best foundation, and then I would showdown them.
Yeah.
It was just, and it was like, okay, your turn's over. My turn. I kill you. It was just very cool.
Team Dr. Ichigai not existing in your deck somewhere is scary.
Yeah, it's probably wrong.
I'm going to put it in your board, and I think we should try and find some amount of room for that card.
Love it.
It is very good. Your character also gets to play Runaway really, really well as a sideboard option.
Yep. I was thinking about that too. I like it.
Like the order symbol is so incredibly strong with its actions. Like people, myself included, make a lot of jokes about, oh, it's the fire symbol, it has the best actions. It's actually the order symbol. The order symbol has the best actions, and it's not close.
Yeah.
And so, because like, I don't know if item box is supposed to be in the main board of the deck or if it's supposed to be Team Dr. Ichigai, just because like this card's not very good on offense, but this card's very good on offense. Right?
True. Yeah.
Did you showdown me? No. Did you Genkai's Guidance me? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, you didn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you saying that, I think makes total sense. It's more offensive, but it can be defensive if you need it to be.
Correct.
And then you just side in the box if you're going second and you're on the draw.
And if they are playing, big single damage moves, right? Like there's a lot of decks where item box isn't very good. Like for example, your deck doesn't have any issues because you're playing Endeavor 3. You fight Asui playing this. Item box honestly isn't very good versus that Asui deck. It just isn't. It's only good on the turn that I'm gonna sell out for Falling Skies, and it's only really good on the turn that you're selling out for prone. But like besides that, all the moves are like +0 speed, +2 damage, and I'm just trying to play 30 of them. Right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, you're totally right.
Order standard 0 diffs. 4/4. This makes sense. Yeah, this is plenty.
Yeah. The only other one was Foresight, and I don't think you need Foresight.
Acrobatic style. After a foundation is committed due to your effect, ready this card. So after you stun them, you get to re-ready this?
Yeah. It's been nice. I'm down for other options if
do you feel like you're running out of foundations?
Sometimes it depends on how aggressive I am early game. But also not necessarily. I don't think I need it. It might just be a cool idea.
Crazy we're not playing Lust.
You're so right. I forgot it was on order.
Yeah, there's like Season Brawler as a high block option, and there's Public Support as a high block option. Says your moves get +3/+1, which is like not bad.
That's not bad at all.
And I think Fruits should probably exist somewhere in your list as the best deadlock threat you can manage.
Yeah, for real.
Move on to 2 diffs. I think that Childlike Appearance is a really solid one of, but let's see if there's anything else that matters instead. Heroic Endurance is not a very good card.
Yeah, we can cut it. It was very meh.
Yeah.
Childlike was kind of fucked up when I messed with it. However,
compatible quirks.
We can try other things.
Compatible quirks is insane. Hacker should be a one of.
Okay.
Man, I'm really high on Seal of Approval, but I there's a trillion mob strikes going around, even in your deck. And if they hit seal approval with mob strike, you just draw 3. And then if they play an ability on a foundation that is going to kill you, you just like get rid of all of them. It's very good.
Yeah.
One of Citywide Crisis.
Yep.
Can't Escape Me is in the sideboard, I'm sure. There's an idea where we play Making a Stand in the deck.
Thought about that. I didn't think there were enough stun attacks.
Yeah, I guess I haven't really looked.
But I guess also having a momentum discard is just
1,
good.
2, 3. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of our whatever. I was looking at Huddle as well. Commit mill 3, add a stun. It's probably not good enough.
Probably not.
So maybe it is supposed to be Childlike Appearance at the 2 of. It's either like push it up to 4 elasticity. Because this card if they try to stun you, you stop it, you get the momentum, and so now you've got powerful 3 on your stuff. Or you got go pick up a Walk the Dog, and it also is like, if my move was blocked, my next one's gonna blow you out, or it's -3 damage, which is the average of the 2 diff that we just cut, the Heroic Endurance.
If we're putting Around the World in, I think we can totally do, and we are putting Around the World in. I think with that mindset, we can put Elasticity to like a 3 of and do Childlike to like a 1 of, and I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah, and I added in Citywide Crisis, and Incompatible Quirks not being in your deck is insane.
It is insane. You're right.
Definitely have to play this one, and we also have to play some amount of. We have to. We have to play 4 Lust for Battle.
Yeah, I can't believe I missed that one.
That's okay. Yeah. The thing is you've got a lot of speed reduction in your deck. Is just the answer, right? Like you've got a lot of cards that are like minus speed. Yeah. Icy Blade.
Yes.
Can we talk?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hit me with it.
Icy Blade has been really good as both another mill outlet. If we're bumping up elasticity to a 3 of, I don't think the stun hate matters as much. But being another option if like I don't find the 0 diff early game for early mill. And then also just accidentally being extra damage when it matters has felt really good. It put in some decent work. I enjoyed it, but now my fear is if we're putting the 2 check in, can we afford it? Is the scary thing.
So my number one thing about Icy Blade is it cancels Showdown.
Yeah.
That's the best thing that this card does.
Yeah, true.
I think that in the new deck, it's supposed to be a 1 of.
Sure.
And it can be sided out for safety strats later. And I think we leave the League Invitation where it is at the 2 of.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite foundation in the deck.
Yeah. So what we've done is 20, 25, 17. Probably need to cut some amount of mid blocks.
Yeah.
The answer is either Creeped Out or Ice Gliding.
Yeah. Let's do Ice Gliding because Creeped Out is also a breaker answer.
Okay.
And I like that.
And then it can't be fixed, or Can't Escape Me, sorry, gets to be a 1 of. We're at 59, which means we get to put a high block back in our deck. The answer is I want to cut Hacker and toss in like 2 copies of Seasoned Brawler.
Okay.
Just put Hacker in the sideboard. And like you can take and swap Hacker for Citywide Crisis depending on which one is better because there's that same 2/4 slot.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Seasoned Brawler is also accidental draw, which is kind of a thing that your deck isn't really doing very much on foundations. You have to like it's Walk the Dog, it's Mop Strike, it's Vile if you're lucky, right? Like Mop Strike is very good, right? Don't get that wrong, but so this is 60, 21, 22, 17.
Okay.
Difficulty curve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of your 36 foundations are 2s and 3s, which is great.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I'm
this
down for this.
ends up not being what you want it to be, instead of going back to the whatever, you should try 4 copies of Shards of Winter because they draw more cards.
I was also thinking that Shards put in work, and I am down to just do 4, 4, 4, 4 like that. That really was like one of the things I was thinking. I was like, maybe the answer is just 4 shards.
Yeah.
But
I would play the riskier version first, just to
Yeah.
see if like you're allowed to get around it, if like your play style and like your deck is agreeing with you, and how people are playing against you works well enough. But maybe it's just supposed to be the shards because you already have enough high blocks, and your character says that once you mill, they all get the +3 damage, so you don't gotta get crazy about it. And it's also another stun 1 move, and so like, yeah, it's a 4 mid for 5 at least at bare minimum. Yeah, 4 mid for 5 that redraws a card. Yeah, that is a very good stat.
Yeah, that card is very good in this deck. I'm down for that. But I'm also super down to test around the world and see how that feels. Because it is a cool idea.
If you put Shards of Winter, the 4 of them, we kill around the world, you can like toss back in one of the icy blades, and like cut a low block somewhere, right? Or even like cut another mid block somewhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Hi, buddy.
See what that would be. Yeah, this was really helpful. Thank you. This
yeah.
Answered a lot of questions. I feel like it fixed a lot of slots, and it helped catch a lot of things that I missed. So thanks, man. This is super helpful.
Welcome. All right. We'll see you, buddy.